I was excited when Robin asked me to share a little bit about attracting clients and just my own process with that. Because so much came to my mind immediately. I was like, oh, yeah, I definitely need to share this. It was very easy. The first thing that came to my mind, and I started my practice, I think it was 2012. So, yeah, it's 10 years ago. Almost 13. I I hadn't taken Mindscape yet, but I did a lot of things that later I realized were embodied in the Mindscape techniques. One of them that I did was really think about inviting in the energy, the people who were aligned to me. And if it's Mindscape, if you've taken that, you could imagine them coming in to the workshop, just observing them. Or if you didn't have Mindscape, you could imagine a space that's your energetic office, that you are inviting them to come in and meet with you and be your clients. And you're casting a net out there, and they can respond in the energy, whoever wants to show up. It is a practice that I do regularly. I go back to it, inviting in clients to the energy to check me out. And one of the things I make sure I do, so that's one thing. You can also kind of get a sense of what your clients are like. If you have a lot of that visual sense, you can see what they're like. Who are you, an aligned match to? I had a specific subset of families with kids with special needs. That was a big piece of what I'd observe. Children. So I made children a focus in my sessions and made sure that that was on my website so I could have it like, oh, a child session. Oh, cool. I wouldn't have thought to do that unless I knew those are my aligned clients. So you can customize types of sessions so people know, like, especially if you saw a bunch of athletes in there, it's like, oh, the athlete session, cool. It's just a session, but you can package it because it matches the people that you're supposed to work with, business sessions, just all kinds of different matches there. I really like working with couples. I'd have a lot of couples come in. So I would say that, there's the relationship matrix session. It's just a session, but they can choose it and they can purchase that one and book that kind of session. But the other thing that I thought was important when I'd observe, the type of clients that I needed to align with, was I set the intention that I align with people who are ready to heal. And that's because I want to have 100% success and work with those people. I want to make sure that I'm inviting in people who are at the moment of change. They're ready for transformation. They're already in the quantum field of that. And then boom, someone says my name. So they call me, or, they see me at an event or whatever. So I always made sure that I align with people who are ready to heal, and that I'd clear anybody out of my client matrix that would not have that in their makeup, or if they have like some sort of karmic destiny with being unwell forever. I don't actually want them as my client. It can't clear up because it makes me look bad. Like as if I couldn't do it, but that's their destiny. So anyway, I always make sure, I can see who they are, identify the subset of people, advertise that way, make sure they are people aligned with healing. And then a little note on that, if there's some part of us that's continually attracting people who will not heal, we can get a session on that. And so we should all be getting trades regularly. And that would be a great thing to look at. What are the patterns in the people that are showing up? And if that pattern's there, look at that. there could be a part of us sometimes that wants a repeat client or wants to have security through people having ongoing issues, but we would want that cleared out because it would be better if we more so had that 100% success and just a fresh wave, or people who are staying really high vibe but are taking on new challenges, not the stuck and sick and returning. So let's see, I wrote down something else here. Another thing I would do is in the Mindscape, well, raise your hand if you have not taken Mindscape. So there is a couple people, okay, but otherwise, all right. So in the Mindscape features, you have things that are like a phone, you can call people, and there's a screen, or you can write letters to people, but you can do this in your own mind also. I also would go in and use those to call and thank people after their sessions, or write them a thank you note. So you could just imagine yourself, take a moment after the session. It's like 20 seconds. You hang up or they leave the room in real life, right? And you just quickly do a thank you in the energy, write a thank you note or call them, thank you for getting a session with me, because thankfulness, gratitude is so attractive and magnetic to more of that. It's yes, please, thank you, more. So you can use that. It maybe just like once a month you get on there and write thank you real quick in your Mindscape, to people, or call them. That is an important one. I think it makes sure that you're taking a moment to do gratitude, but then also follow it up with other sorts of gratitude. You can just send them a text, find ways to do gratitudes to people. Maybe, who knows, you could have a moment of inspiration to be like, hey, if someone got a, like a monthly session with me for the last year, maybe I want to just give them like a 20-minute tune-up for free. Like, who knows, I could do anything. I could give them something, I could give them a note, but letting them know that there's gratitude involved, I think, is a whole other cool thing to look at. One other thing I want to say, I'm probably going a little bit long. Is this okay, Robin? I will wrap it up. Taking supreme care of yourself is really important for attracting clients. And this is practical. I remember realizing one day, if I was going to do in-person sessions, I needed to start getting my nails done. My hands were going to be seen on them. Little things about care of myself came to light. Just taking care of myself, getting the sessions I needed, taking care of the patterns in my life that weren't well, or anything in the area of self-care that says, it's okay, I'm in service work, I don't matter. We don't want to be in that energy in any way. And so just all the way down to little details of, your space is clean and you've taken the time for yourself. I just have to mention that. There's something super practical. And that's just to say, find the online presence that lights you up, not anything that drains you. So if you're going to choose a social media, muscle test which platform. If it's a website, which type of, I don't even know the names of these things, right? Which, Jessica knows them, she's going to say them. The thingies, the technology, muscle test which one's aligned to you, because each one has its own energy, and you're going to be in that world talking with people. So make sure their energetic matches. We have the tools to muscle check, but then we forget to use them. And then we end up enrolling in things that, whether it's a business coaching thing or it's a site that you actually end up hating the format, just muscle test all your technology. So you're in the ones that represent you well, that work with your style of communication. Like maybe you, should be on Instagram, but you shouldn't be on Twitter. just muscle test them. So that's the practical thing I wanted to say too. Well, thanks for letting me fire hose you with some of my advice and thoughts, and I hope it supports you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm like sitting over here taking notes. And just so you know, we're gonna let Vanessa and Jessica also share, and then we'll open it up to ask questions. And so there are a little panel tonight. And our next person, according to the muscle testing, is Vanessa.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so I'm gonna go back. Firstly, let me just say, I only certified in the beginning of 2019. However, I'd been using Body Talk. And I certified very quickly. I certified in 3 months because I knew that it was what I needed to do. So I was still working in corporate when I certified. And that was where I started because I could see the stresses. So that was sort of where I started, was in that space. But so for those of you that don't know, I think most of you do now, I moved just 6 months ago from South Africa. My practice in South Africa, I built that. My business partner's running that. So my practice in South Africa is still running. Some of my clients see me online in the mornings here, in the evenings there. And the rest of my clients will see my business partner in South Africa. And every single thing that I've done, for those of you that haven't done Mindscape, I think there were only 2. I'm in the process of training to become a Mindscape instructor. But what I can tell you is from day one, I've used Mindscape for absolutely everything. I built my business using Mindscape. I use Mindscape every single day of my life. And I'll give you, if you look at my website, at my wellness center in South Africa, there's a little log cabin. That log cabin came to me in Mindscape. There was a carport that's used to stand there. And I didn't know where I was going to start, and I Mindscaped that. So everything that I'm going to tell you has come from Mindscape. And when you work with Mindscape every day, you find that you are in your alpha mind all the time. You live in that space and the information just comes to you, but it takes practice. So what did I do initially? Like Carolyn said as well, and I do this every single morning, I will go into my Mindscape and into my therapy room, and that is where I'll stay. So I will go into my Mindscape, I will have a look at my manifestation board, which has had, I'll share this with you. It was right in the beginning. I went into my Mindscape the one day and I had been manifesting my business. And the only thing when I walked in there, I put on the screen was I saw my business partner and I were right in the beginning stages. I saw $1 billion babes. That's all that I saw that day. I was like, right, okay, this is what we're doing. So I've now had to create additional manifestation boards because that one has always been there. Even the name of my business, BU Global, the butterfly that represents my business, every single one of those things, I Mindscaped and it came to me in Mindscape. For those of you that don't, the easiest way to explain Mindscape is every bit of information that ever was or ever will be already exists in universal consciousness. So you get trained to live in the field, which is that source of information. So during those 2 days, you get trained to live there. So when you want to access that, you eventually get to the point where you live in that space. So what did I do? What have I done to build my practice? I am on Facebook. I chose Facebook because Instagram just freaks me out with all the adverts and all the stuff that come up on Instagram. And I'm turning 45 this year. Facebook for me just works. And I work with a business coach. I have been for the last 2 years. Again, like Carolyn said, muscle test, is that the right person? What do you need to do? Muscle test it. We have the tools, like Carolyn said, to do that. So what do I do on Facebook? I'm part of neighborhood groups. And I don't go on there to actually look at it. It comes to me. I'll open Facebook. I saw it last night. I live in Sammamish and I'm on the Sammamish neighborhood group. Somebody said, has anybody ever been diagnosed with TMJ? I went on there. I commented. I didn't say anything. I sent her a private message in the background. So it's listening, it's responding. And again, manifesting those things that you will see them when you need to see them. There's some people that prefer networking on social media and some people that prefer getting out there networking with people. And I'm one of those people. I'm a member of BNI. If any of you don't know, Business Networking International. I've been a member of BNI with my practice in South Africa for going on 5 years, and I've joined BNI here. It's the BNI membership is for a year, it's quite pricey if you look at it, but I've already made that money back. I've made it back. I made it back within the first month. It's a networking group where you basically have 25, depending on how big your chapter is, you have 25 to 30 people looking for business for you all the time. So you have 30, depending on the size of the chapter, 30 to 60 seconds to tell people about what you do. And I found various ways to do this, that you're not talking about the same thing all the time. I speak about techniques, I speak about the easy stuff that can help people, that makes them go, hang on a second. But the trick is you need to be confident in what you're saying. You need to have and not just one elevator pitch. You've got to have a few. You've got to have a few that speak to, so listen to what the people are saying, and that's what I do. I listen, and then I go, okay, that's what they need to hear. That part of the body talk system is what they need to hear. That is what's going to bring them into my space, is they need. And when they need to be in my space, because, so I listen. Big thing is listening. In a conversation, listening even is reading. You're listening to what somebody's saying in their words and listening to those. And then I have joined about 3 other networking groups. And I always have business cards with me, even if I'm just going to the shop. You never know who you're going to bump into at the shop that might need you. I've done it here already, where I've heard something and I've been drawn to walk up to the person and given them my card and just said, I felt the need to give this to you. If you'd like to get in touch, please do. And you give it to the right person. I've joined a book club as well. One of the ladies in the book club, I didn't meet her the first time, but she was watching the emails coming through. She saw my email signature that has everything on it. She just contacted me via my email signature. That's the only reason she actually contacted me, was because she saw my email signature and went to look at my website. So all of these things that you learn if you've been in the corporate world, I don't know how many of you have been in the corporate world, but those are things that you learn that if you haven't been, you won't actually know, is a lot of those things. So I'm very big on the professionalism side, even when it comes to your therapy room. You can see behind me here, I have got every single certificate of every one of the modules up on my wall. And the reason it's there is because of the energy it creates. That energy brings clients in. When you go to a doctor's room, all of them have got their certificates up because it's required. Ours are not required, but that's professionalism, because then they walk in and they go, she knows what she's doing. I can refer my friend who is very Western, very much into Western medicine, to this lady because she knows what she's doing. You need to not hide away from it, shy away from the fact that you've got all these certifications. And there's one word that for me, I don't like using it. It wasn't used in South Africa. We're not body talkers. That makes us sound freaking weird. We're certified body talk practitioners. That's what we are. We CBPs. We have a title. When I hear people saying that, and I've heard it a lot more here than I have in South Africa, I cringe, because I'm going, that's not what we are. What does that mean even? If you tell somebody, when I do my BNI presentation, I'm an internationally certified body talk practitioner, because it's an international certification. So that's something. So around professionalism, I'm very much, but you've got to not make it boring. You've got to, Jess and I spoke about this other, you've got to make it sexy. You've got to bring that in. You've got to make people want to be in your space and create the space that they want to be in. Just checking here, certificates, I said manifestation, network, yeah, okay. And the last thing I want to tell you is I don't do one-off sessions. And I tell my clients that from the beginning. I do packages. I start at 3 sessions, because I explained to them that body talks like an onion. It's layers. Our body has got stuff stored from 6 weeks in the womb. It's not going to shift in one session. And I've had nobody questioning it. I've had clients that are onto their second package. I've got somebody that's booked a 6-month package with me. But then I don't expect them to keep on coming back forever, because with some of the other tools with Mindscape, I want them to get to a point where they can shift some of the stuff themselves. I want them to get to that point of awareness and consciousness that they know when something's up, that they can start shifting it. So they can decide if they want to continue, they can, but I don't do one-off sessions from the beginning. So and they pay up front for all 3 sessions, because then there's commitment and they will come. And if they don't, I've got somebody who paid me and they've never come for a session. They've sent me their health and well-being form and they've never come. Sorry, Robin, that's one more thing, just reminded me, the health and well-being form. How many of you do that for your clients? Okay, because that again, and it's something that I actually learned here from one of the people in my BNI chapter, is if you are doing something, if you are doing work like that, you need to make sure that they've consented, and if you've got a form, it's their consent anyway. So it's things like that. And I've got an online one, so I don't use the IBA one. I made my own one on Microsoft Forms that I send out a link, and they fill in the link and it comes straight to my email inbox. So there's that as well. So yeah, if there's any, sure we'll have time for questions later. There you go. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, Vanessa. I will just say, you guys, first of all, these gals, all 3 of them, I think I asked you yesterday, or maybe it was even today, but this is how much they just know their shit. And the other thing is, obviously we could talk about any of this all day long, but we're hoping to give you a taster. And before I forget to tell you, Vanessa has run a student development clinic that we're hoping to bring here. I do business coaching. I believe Carolyn does business coaching. So if you want to go deeper, if you want to go deeper and you're not talking to the right person here today, when I send out the email, you can just hit reply and I'll get you in touch with whoever you need to get in touch with, because this stuff does run deep. But I feel like we're getting some great nuggets. Like, yeah, I'm filling a little notebook over here. Okay, so thank you so much. And this brings us to Miss Jessica.
Hi, guys.
Sounds like a dominatrix. No.
I know, I have a style. Hi, everybody. Hello. I have maintained my certification since 2016, 2017, but I, in my business, don't call myself a body talk practitioner. I'm a coach. So, but I use body talk in all of my work, but I feel like that's important. The way I do things is a little different. But I think that's really important because body talk can interweave with so many different modalities. So knowing how to craft offers, programs, packages, I do, like Vanessa, packages, programs. I like to have an intention for the container. I know in body talk, it's like, no agendas or whatever. We want to just whatever's the priority. But to make sales and to also the stuff we're doing is in the subtle energy. It's invisible. So it's like, oh, I'm just gonna play with your energy. No, what is the transformation you are providing for this person? Tangible, what are they gonna get out of this work? And you can keep it kind of general if you do more physical health. It's just things like immune system. I actually have a little list. Whenever you see a supplement and they tell you all the benefits of the supplement, it's all usually the same stuff: immune support, stress management, general health and wellness, those things, those little bullet points, having that on a landing page that describes kind of what you do, what your niche is. If you package into an offer, which I recommend, what is the transformation? And like Vanessa said with the pitches, it's what have you witnessed that this transforms? Can this help the person you're listening to in front of them? Like, hey, I actually have something I know can help you with that specific problem. Here's my card. So this is great because I was like, what am I going to talk about? And I had a client session, a business coaching client, right before this call. And what came through her session that I'll tell you guys is, what are the transformations you have experienced in your own body through this work and that you have helped clients already? If you're in the beginning, what are the transformations that you've experienced? What is the point A to point B? And when you really anchor into that, because sometimes I think it's hard for us to own that, like, we, cross the abyss from one place to another. I think almost everyone in the body talk system, like, made a big jump somewhere in their life, big transformation, maybe several. And so those can be different offers, different packages. Like Carolyn was saying, athlete session, maybe you went through a horrific injury and learned how to, like, not only, gain functionality of your body, but your self-esteem because your career as an athlete is over, right? That's a whole story, a whole transformation. And it goes deep, right? It has all these layers. So that's my big piece there. Know your transformation story, know a couple, collect that data, and make it real. Talk about these things with other people. So my business is completely online. Almost all of my clients I've gotten through social media, in particular TikTok. I have over 70,000 followers on TikTok. I had a video that went viral and got 2.8 million views. And it's on the major transformation that I've provided thus far, which is helping women orgasm. I help women have better sex. I help women connect with partners that are compatible. And so I talked about my own personal transformation, which I went from Catholic, girl growing up, completely sexually repressed, to, now creator of Sex Witch, but I have, like, awesome orgasmic sex, whatever. I'm talking about this on the internet. So there's a lot of inner work and bravery that's had to come through for me to get that kind of, like, online presence. But it all is, not everyone's path is to be out there like that. There's a lot more, like Vanessa was talking about, like, local groups. Facebook groups are awesome, like connecting in groups, commenting on people's posts. That's called engagement. So spending 10, 20 minutes a day engaging on whatever social media platform, people will see you, adds credibility, you're making connections. Don't just, like, copy and paste, no, that's tacky. But, like, when you feel called, engage. You have to feed the community that you want to feed you back. Social media, in-person networking, whatever it is, pick one to start with, if you're looking to get more clients in. Let's see, I'm, like, all over the place. There's literally so much I can talk about on this stuff. I'm really passionate about it. But yeah, that's the cornerstone piece. Know that transformation, know it in your body, validate it. Like, that's amazing. Tell someone your story, see their response. My client, her first pregnancy, she was a teen mom. It was horrible. Her second baby, she did a natural free birth, completely free birth at home by herself. And it was this beautiful experience. And I'm, like, chills as she's talking. I'm like, wow. And she's just like, oh, nonchalant. I'm like, that's your magic. Like, you did it again. You had another child after a bad experience and you did it like that. I want to know what you know. So this kind of positioning I'm talking about is centered on you, less on the system. I'm centering your business is you, and your unique codes. And that will run through, through the system, through the body talk system that we use in sessions. It doesn't really matter the modality, that does matter. We study, right? We have our study groups. But from a business brand perspective, it's about you. And like Carolyn said, the self-care, the self-esteem, like that's so important because you have to believe like someone's going to choose you over someone else. Like essentially, like, can you convince yourself that that could happen? And another point I'm going to put in also on the self-care is like, after becoming a mom, I realized that this work is very draining. And I suffered massive burnout because I didn't realize being a mom and being a practitioner, it made me realize like the work we do, it makes me feel alive, but it is work. We're holding space, in sex coaching, holding space for really like deep shit, like, so self-care, aftercare, right? Like maybe we had a really intense session. We like to think that like, oh, I'm so strong. I know body talk. I'm fine. No, like we're human too. And like some of the stuff that we touch, like we need like, that love. So, though that's kind of a big lesson I learned is like, yeah, the self-care, like you can't take it for granted. This is work. It takes a lot out of you. So yeah, that's my spiel. Thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Okay, well, I'm going to open this up in just one second, but I have my mic off, so I could talk first. How amazing. I'm just going to recap for a minute that Carolyn has sort of the heart-centered vibe sort of feeling. Vanessa has the corporate, really Western friendly, professional vibe. Jessica has a containment system that invites in really specific people and goes very, very deep.
Yeah.
And these are just, so this is so great because you guys are just seeing just different ways to engage. And it's true, like the system is strong, but we're bringing ourselves. I'm going to just vigorously agree with like many things that were said, but our business is us. And what is true for us and who we are and what we have to offer and what we need to learn ourselves. So we're the center point of our businesses, and just how beautiful. So that means we can be anything. Our businesses can go in any direction that we can go, and we get to be completely genuine inside of our own practices. So I'm just going to pop in with that. And anyway, I'm done now. I'm going to open up the floor. Why don't we do hand just so I can unmute you one at a time with questions or comments or feedback. Susan, you baby. If you can unmute.
Ask a question. Yeah. So my name's Susan, and yeah, that was really beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom. Well, my question was more on like, is there, since I'm new to you guys to everybody regrouping here, is there a way that we can support each other or anything set up for, you talked about burnout, Jessica, and I just wanted to ask about that because I agree. I mean, we can get fatigued from just doing lots of things. And I think it would help to know that there's support within the group, their trades or whatever. Is there some way that we are supporting each other to just not get into burnout?
Yeah, that's huge. I bet there's a lot of people in this group that have been feeling burnout because our matrix has been fragmented, which doesn't help either, right? So I do think, I know I have trades set up, but I've been thinking about creating a Facebook group for the PNW body talk practitioners where people can talk in there. I guess you'd have to be a certified practitioner. We'll figure out the details. But it's a private group where we can like connect, and I'll probably help run it and people can find each other. Because what I really want to do is bring out some of that like ooh, I have that special sauce, you have that, let's trade. So kind of helping us communicate and express that, like, what are some of the things we like to play with? But yeah, trades all day. I have many trade partners and I always allot time for trades. So I know there's people here for that because we all the time, trading all the time. It's important.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Madoc had a thought.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think we could use, if we wanted to set up a page like that, we could use the group that already exists from the last time that it got created. We could probably just rename the group. I think Jessica, you might have even created it, or been a.
Yeah, I'm an admin. I had no idea, and then I saw it and I was like, what? So yeah, I'll just do that. Yeah, thank you.
And we could always ask people to confirm whether they want to still belong or not, and you know, whittle it down if people don't respond or something.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll work on that.
Okay, and I'm gonna hop in here and say, the reason that we are here right now in this moment is for exactly this, is for supporting each other, for really building our matrix. Like, not just like, I mean, I love the energetic matrix and everything, but then there's like knowing there's humans, you know, and getting to know each other and getting to share our information with each other. This is why we're here right now. And the PNBA, the board, so there's all of the board members are here right now. And so it's me and Vanessa and Ellen and Jessica and Diana. And we're all, I mean, we've just taken on the commitment to make sure this foundation is really solid. But the mission statement hasn't been completely ironed out, but it's about really building a robust community where we know who we are, where we have a professional forward-facing interface with the world, so we can send people to our website, and we can, you know, and we have things to share with people, and so that when this is hard work, and when this gets to be hard work, or you run into a snag, or, you know, I don't know, I mean, people come to body talk sessions because they're at their, a lot of times because they have something so weird, you know, and they're at their wits end. I don't know, I've had this rash for 1,000 years and it's on the side, you know, and it's like, we get thrown stuff that people come to us because, well, I don't know, I guess I'll try that. So to be able to support each other through all the specific challenges of this work is why we're here right now. And I'm grateful to all of you for being here right now. And then Vanessa.
So one of the things that helped me, I mean, having moved 6 months ago from another country and having left half my family behind, it's that serious. I mean, that's, yeah, it's been very, very stressful. And if I tell you, if I didn't have, I'll go back to it again, Mindscape, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I would be a mess lying somewhere in a corner, not knowing what to do with myself. So if there's anybody who's done Mindscape that needs, and I have to do this anyway. So if there's anyone that has done Mindscape that wants a private Mindscape with me, that I'll take you into Mindscape, I'll take you around, we'll check what's happening in your workshop. So for those of you that want, I'm happy to do it. Okay, awesome. Right, there we go. Everybody. It helps me.
Can I suggest maybe you set that up as an evening for the Pacific Northwest, where you could work with a bunch of us at the same time? Maybe.
I won't. I will do that. I will do that together, but I have to do both. So let me put it that I have to do both. I have to do a group and I have to do a private session. So for me, it would be awesome for me to do, and we can do it on Zoom. If you guys are close enough, you can come you can come in, but if you're not, we can do it on Zoom, just so I can also, for me, just understand where everyone is in their Mindscape, and then bring it all together, and we can do Dale Fox, who's my mentor, my Mindscape instructor, she does what they call a mini Mindscape. So every time she does Mindscape, just before that, she does it for people who've done Mindscape already. So that is something that I will get to. And it's really awesome because it's about 2-3 hours where you will go, it'll be agenda based, what's happening in the world or what's happening somewhere. And she takes us into Mindscape, and it's just incredible what comes up. So for me, I definitely want to do that, mate. I'll do a group one, but I think to do it individually first. So I'll Robin, you're going to send an email.
I will send an email with Vanessa's, when I send the email out, I'm just making notes here. One of the follow-up things will be Vanessa's email so that you can reach out to her if you'd like to be considered for a private Mindscape session. Because this is part of your training to become an instructor, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ellen you had your hand up.
So I am so excited about this association. I know Susan and I are nurses, and the nursing world is in a serious crisis right now. We're all leaving the field, and I was hired at Swedish Edmonds because I'm a body talker, a body intuitive person. So we'll see where that goes.
She's a body talk practitioner. That's what she meant.
Excuse me, a certified body talk practitioner. Who am I, right? I'm sorting that out, who I am. But the biggest associations that we've been missing is we need to support our body talk practitioners. We need to support who we are. And I know I'm coming into a matrix that's already been created. I mean, you guys have one of the oldest. I watched Seattle Body Talk, from Utah and Idaho for years, envious because of what you had created, but it fragmented when I came here. Everybody was in their own clutches and a lot of people had left. And so my dream is, in order to tackle the medical community and everything, we need an association, like a nursing association. And here we are. And I know I love what Jessica and Medoc says. You guys are old timers, and Robin, you guys have your trade partners probably off, but the new people coming in, we need the different styles. We need the different ways to see we practice. I can bring instructors every 3 months. That's our goal. We're getting new people, but we need the people, Susan, who's over in the nursing world, Jessica, who brings in that fresh new sexual perspective. If we sold this on sex, man, we'd all have 15-year waiting list, right?
You're getting one out of that orgasm?
Package it, I'll create, I call it engagement sessions for the past 10 years, but if you throw in sex, there'll be no standing room only. I love the collaboration, but the bottom line, we nurses serve the planet all day long, but who takes care of us? And there isn't. We certified practitioners create miracles every single day, 10 hours a day. But who takes care of us? Where's my miracles? And here they are, all right here, and the variety of sessions. So let's get that trade page going, because there's half of you that I've never seen your work. We've never exchanged. And the magic that happens when two practitioners, me and Diana, and me and Vanessa are just, me and Robin and I have traded once. The magic and the power that happens when we connect uniquely and individually, and different practitioners brings out new things that's blowing my mind, so I appreciate the other set of glasses, and all of you are unique and powerful in my mindscape right now. So thank you.
Thanks, Ellen. And Madoc?
It would also be kind of cool, especially for newer people, or even for all of us, would be to have a session, like a trade session, that could be watched by other people, because we all have such different ways of practicing. I would love to see all of the different practitioners like doing a session on another practitioner. And I mean, we know the language, but it would just be
an intensive. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, like a session intensive, and then just, I mean, we could trade around and watch. It'd be super cool. We could even just, do one at a time or something, but we'd all get the benefit.
Well, the best way to refer someone is if you've actually experienced their work.
Right.
So.
And then Carolyn.
Okay, so one other thing, if you guys want, I didn't say I do this, but I do a Patreon that's a membership that I have all of these recorded sessions. It's like 160 or 70. Some are video, some are audio. But if you were like, I just want to see all these different ways Carolyn does sessions, you can go on my Patreon, and it's like $5 a month or something like that. It might be 10 now to see everything. But you could just play around in there and receive a ton of sessions. I imprinted them all for anyone who ever wants to receive any of the sessions. And so you could play in there, and we can list that on there. And you don't have to keep the membership long, just whenever you want it. But I
Right.
started making a library. I wanted a library of sessions on all these different kinds of topics. So I did do that, and you might like that. People might like that.
I can vouch for that. I've wandered through Carolyn's extensive library. Look at, it's pretty great. It's really very cool. It's a resource. So I will share a link to that.
They freak people out because people will be like, are you working on me right now? Like, how is this working? It's recorded 3 years ago. And it's like, you know.
No.
Recorded sessions are powerful.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
John Beltime talked about that. It's the torsion field in your voice activates the change. So if you just wrote it on a paper, maybe you get a little, but when you hear the actual vibration of the frequency of the voice, it turns the session on.
Yeah.
So, okay, any other, I mean, I know we could go all day, and there are a lot. I will just validate, like, thank you guys, all these great ideas. I just took all these notes. I'm going to send some follow-up. We're at the beginning of growing something powerful here. So the ideas are welcome. We're in the growth state now. So there's more and more coming in. And I love the idea of like something like a session intensive and trades and so on. So I'm going to be sharing all that. And then Vanessa has a thought.
I do. One thing I forgot to mention that I did mention somewhere along the line. We spoke just now, Jessica and Carolyn, we all spoke about self-care, having your nails done, having your hair done. I gave my hairdresser free sessions. I met her here. I started giving her free sessions. I'm already on to session number 4 or 5, and she has already sent people to me. And she does my hair for free now, because now she felt she wanted to. And then I started having my nails done, and I've offered the nail technician. I've offered her free sessions as well, because she heard about it via somebody else, and so and then she will just refer, because those people speak to people every day.
Mm-hmm.
So
What
that's another
started
one.
my practice, I will just say, just real quick, I got in front of people every chance I got. I did expos and like mom and tot dates and all this kind of stuff like that, until I finally got the electrolysis in, and she, like, for like years sat there picking people's hair out of their chins, telling them how they had to have body talk. That woman single-handedly grew my practice. But I didn't go looking for her. I just got in front of people, got in front of her until I met the one that told everybody. And she was the gold. She was amazing. And then after that, then it's word of mouth from there. Then you're alive. Then it's going. So thank you. So, but you can deliberately do it and bring your hair and your nail people in, make a difference. And then they tell everybody they do, because it's amazing. Carolyn?
I want to just give one more thing that I feel needs to be spoken. And that is, as a business that wants to retain clients, we have to have integrity, show up when we say we're going to show up, do the thing. And if we mess up, it's complimentary. I don't know how we can mess up, but especially if we mess up, we got to have really good integrity. And if I wasn't on time for sessions, or if I wasn't doing the things I said, oh, I'll text you that link to that supplement that you need. You got to do it. And that's just another thing too. So that would be a good thing. If you see patterns like that, like not being able to show up on time or do things, we got to work those out in our trades. I'm excited to do trades. I'll do trades with anyone.
Mm-hmm. Y'all want to trade with Carolyn, I'll tell you that. Okay. Oh my God, you guys. I came into this, has been a really long, kind of difficult day, and I was feeling really, and now I'm like, oh my God, I love my work and I love my people. And so that's because of you. Do we have any other, anything else anyone would like to share, ask? Oh, Denise. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about an organization. Is it BNI? What is that?
Business Network International.
Yeah.
And there are local chapters. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Local to us. Denise is in my part of the world.
Wow.
We're over here on the other side of mountains. Believe it or not, there are people over here. So okay. Are we complete? for today. You
Yeah.
guys, this was absolutely amazing. And
Beautiful.
we are winging it a little bit, and we were on some of the Zooms doing sessions, and if it comes up, we will, that's always an option. But for today, I'm feeling into it and it feels very full. We've got a lot to percolate on. I will send a follow-up email with links and bullet points of different things people discussed and the recording. So this is being recorded. So in fact, I can stop the recording. We will stop the recording. Goodbye, recording.